They have been running their business since ages.
Quiet lightning, Sheriff. We come at you like a knife. Pointy end first, sharp end.
But a problem erupted when a corrupt government official tried to bring them on their knees, not realizing they're more dangerous than think. Welcome back to Paramount Recapped. I don't have many subscribers, but your single comment is a ray of hope to motivate me. So the movie kicks off with Jack cruising down the road with his two older brothers, Forrest and Howard. Jack's doing the talking here, giving us the lowdown on their lives back in the wild 1920s. Yeah, that time when booze was banned, but ironically, everyone was thirsty for it. While the law said no more alcohol, the Bondurant brothers were like, bet, and turned that dry spell into a gold mine, bootlegging in Franklin County, Virginia. By 1931, they weren't just doing well, they had the whole town on their tab, even the sheriff. These dudes thought they were untouchable. I mean, Howard lived through an entire battalion going down in the ocean, and Forrest somehow walked away from the Spanish flu. So yeah, now they had this mindset like they were straight up invincible. Nothing could touch them. Now, while small-town boys like the Bondurants were running their underground hustle, big cities were blowing up with organized crime. Legendary gangsters like Al Capone and Floyd Banner were straight up running the show. Shootouts, stacks of cash, the whole gangster package. These dudes made crime look like a career. That same night, the brothers pull up to drop off some of their liquid gold at this shindig that's going on. Forrest tells Jack to chill by the car and watch the goods while he and Howard go mingle. But of course, trouble finds Jack. Some dude comes up, flashing a blade, trying to rob him. Jack's freaking out like, bro, I'm just the driver. Just when things are about to go sideways, Forrest and Howard walk back. Forrest, calm as ever, starts messing with the guy's head, talking in circles, and then bam, clocks him out cold with brass knuckles. The rest of the guy's crew? Yeah, they weren't trying to stick around after that. Howard cracks jokes at Jack's expense, and they bounce. Later on, they swing by a bar to finish their delivery. While they're doing business, Jack catches sight of a girl, Bertha Minks. She's the preacher's daughter, which of course makes things 10 times more interesting for Jack. Next day, Forrest is back at their own bar where this dancer from Chicago, Maggie, shows up looking for a job. She's got that city charm, and Forrest is definitely into it. The brothers hire her on the spot. Things get real the day Jack witnesses Floyd Banner. Yup, the same infamous mobster, hop out his car with a Tommy gun and unload bullets into a rival's car like it's just another Tuesday. Jack's low-key starstruck and even scoops up some shell casings like souvenirs. He runs off to tell his buddy Cricket Pate all about it, handing him one of the shells. Together, they come up with a genius idea. Use Cricket's house as a front for their moonshine setup. They stash the whole operation in his basement. But you know what they say, every good time eventually gets interrupted. One day, the sheriff shows up at the bar, and he's not alone. He brings this uptight, mean-looking special agent, Charlie Rakes, who's working for the DA. The guy demands a cut of the Bondurant's profits in exchange for letting them move freely around town. But Forrest? Nah, he's not about that life. He straight up tells Rakes to buzz off, even threatens him if he comes back. After that, Forrest calls a meeting with the other moonshiners and urges them to push back too. Everyone seems pumped at first, but when Rake starts playing dirty, intimidation, threats, violence, most of them cave. Meanwhile, Jack's having his own little meltdown. Howard's teasing him nonstop, and Jack just loses it. Grabs a jar of shine, gets wasted, and heads to church just to get a peek at Bertha. Of course, it all goes sideways, and he ends up embarrassing himself in front of the whole congregation. Her dad catches wind of it and bans her from seeing him, which, let's be real, only makes her more interested in the guy. Rakes, still trying to dig up dirt, raids Cricket's house with a couple of deputies. They don't find anything, but when Jack tries to step in, Rakes beats the living daylights out of him with the butt of his gun. Jack warns him that his brothers won't let this slide, but Rakes just keeps pounding him until he passes out. Forrest finds out and is pissed. He tears into Jack for not fighting back and tells him he needs to toughen up. Jack, feeling defeated, asks what if he just doesn't have it in him. Forrest tells him that being dangerous isn't about brute force. It's about how far you're willing to go. We survive because we don't let fear run us, he says. Not long after, 2 deputies show up at the bar with a warrant for Forrest, but they're clearly nervous. Before they can do much, Howard walks in and starts laying them out, even tries to force feed one of them gasoline until Forrest pulls him off. That night, Maggie's walking back to her place when Rake shows up out of nowhere and threatens her. Next day, Forrest and Howard are supposed to meet some new buyers from Chicago. But Howard flakes, gets drunk, and never shows. While Forrest is at the bar, those Chicago guys get handsy with Maggie and pull a gun on her. She handles herself, stabbing one of them in the hand. Forrest hears the noise and storms in with Cricket, then proceeds to lay into the two goons, brass knuckles and all. After the fight, Maggie patches up Forrest's wounds and thanks him. He walks her to her car, trying to play it cool. But later that night, the same guys come back looking for revenge. When Cricket leaves, they ambush Forrest outside the bar, slice his throat open, and dump him in the snow. Maggie, sensing something's wrong, heads back and finds the scene. The next day, somehow, Forrest is at the hospital, still alive. Dude apparently walked there himself, holding his neck together. Jack and Howard are in shock. Forrest, barely able to talk, tells Howard he should have been there. Maggie shows up later and says she's skipping town. She tells Forrest she left Chicago to get away from dangerous men, not get caught up with more of them. But Forrest tells her it's not like that, and she should stay close for her own safety. Jack, now feeling like he's got something to prove, sneaks into Forrest's hospital room and steals the key to their liquor stash. He ropes in Cricket and loads up the car, ready to take their biggest batch yet straight to Chicago. But halfway there, boom, car stalls. Turns out, Cricket forgot to fill the gas tank. Jack loses it, but Cricket has a light bulb moment. He starts pouring moonshine into the gas tank like it's fuel. And just like that, the two of them are back on the road, running illegal booze on empty with nothing but guts and liquor fumes keeping them going. They eventually roll into Chicago and link up with a guy named Gummy Walsh who's supposed to be their buyer. But surprise, surprise, it's a setup. Out of nowhere, a group of gangsters jumps them. They get dragged to this fresh grave in the middle of nowhere, and it's looking like the end of the road for them. Just when things are about to go real dark, Jack blurts out that he's from Blackwater Station, and that name catches someone's attention. Turns out, the big boss Floyd Banner shows up right then and there. After hearing where Jack's from, Floyd steps in and shuts the whole execution down. Jack, trying to prove their shine isn't trash, lights him up on the spot. The flame dances like magic, and Floyd is straight up impressed. He offers to buy the whole batch, and not just that, he pays way more than the going rate. Floyd even drops a bombshell. He knows all about what happened to Forrest. Even better, he hands Jack an address, the spot where the guys who messed up his brother are hiding. Oh, and they're working for that Snake Reese. Real subtle, right? Next day, Jack and Cricket roll up to the bar like nothing happened. Forrest and Howard are waiting, looking ready to throw hands. But before they can start yelling, Jack grins and tells them he got double the usual price for the shine. And as a cherry on top, he gives them that address Floyd gave him. Forrest and Howard exchange looks. You can guess what they're planning next. Later on, Jack stops by Bertha's place, feeling all proud of himself. He's got this fancy camera and takes her picture, thinking he's Mr. Cool. But when he gets home that night, his brothers are gone. Jack immediately puts two and two together. He knows where they went. So, he jumps in his car and drives to the address they were given. When he gets there, it's already happening. Forrest and Howard are inside, dishing out brutal payback to the ones who sliced Forrest's throat. Afterward, Howard hands Jack a bag and tells him to take it to Reese. Jack does it the next morning, and Reese gets the shock of his life when he opens it. What's inside isn't exactly something you'd send through Amazon. From there, Floyd Banner becomes a regular customer, and the brothers move their operation way into the woods where it's safer. With business booming, the money pours in like a busted pipe. Jack's all about Bertha now, and Forrest finally lets his guard down and starts a thing with Maggie, who moves into the bar for safety. One day, Jack gets the genius idea to show Bertha the distillery out in the woods. But what he doesn't know is that Reese had someone shadowing her. Mid-tour, Reese and his goons show up out of nowhere. A brawl kicks off. Howard manages to take Reese down for a moment, and Jack almost ends him right there, but he freezes. That hesitation gives Reese guys enough time to regroup, and the brothers are forced to make a run for it. They don't get far, and in the chaos, Bertha and Cricket are left behind. Reese snatches up Cricket, and in a ruthless move, snaps his neck like it's nothing. Jack is wrecked. He wants blood, so he decides to face Reese head-on. He heads to a roadblock where Reese is posted up, ready for war. Howard, seeing what Jack's about to do, doesn't let him go alone. He rallies the other bootleggers, and they gear up for a final stand. Even Forrest, who's still healing, can't stay behind. Maggie begs him not to go, and during the argument, she finally admits something. She's the one who found him bleeding out and rushed him to the hospital. Forrest realizes that means she was probably attacked too, but Maggie says it didn't go that far. That confession hits Forrest hard, and you can see it changes something in him. Then, all hell breaks loose at the bridge. Gunfire erupts between the bootleggers and Ree's men. Forrest takes multiple shots and drops, bleeding badly. Reeves tries to run, but Jack, even while hurt, chases him down. He shoots Reeves in the chest, stopping him in his tracks. Then Howard steps in and finishes the job, stabbing Reeves with a big OL knife and letting him bleed out right there on the bridge. With Reeves and his gang gone, the brothers figure it's time to call it quits. They stash their cash, knowing the Prohibition era is wrapping up anyway. Jack ties the knot with Bertha, Forrest marries Maggie, and Howard settles down with a local gal. They start new lives, families, peace, the whole 9 yards. Years go by, and one winter they're all together at Jack's place for a family hangout. Forrest, probably one too many drinks deep, decides to goof around and dance on a frozen lake. The ice cracks and he goes under. They pull him out, but the cold hits hard. He ends up with pneumonia and doesn't make it. And that's how the legend of the Bondurant brothers winds down. From backwoods bootleggers to family men, their story had it all: blood, booze, bullets, and one wild ride. Thanks for hanging out. If you're new around here, don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more action-packed movie recaps. Catch you in the next one.